Well, let's talk about contributions and features and kind of transition to my whole thing that I wanted to talk about. You want me to kick it off?
Well, we are going to talk about Jadakiss and Raekwon. Go ahead,
Right.
kick it off.
So I figure we could just jump into that since we're already here on the back end of the Kiss thing.
Yeah.
So I was listening to the Purple Tape 2 the other day, and something occurred to me. Because we had talked about, we were on the show. It's the show that made me think about it. Like I said, we really listened to the people. It's like, what's the best rap album in 2007, 2009? And I was like, when I got to 2009, it's like, oh, that's the Purple Tape 2. And then I thought about it. It's like, well, the Purple Tape 2 is the best rap album in 2009. And we know the Purple Tape's the best rap album in 1995. And think about this.
It is.
The Purple Tape's the best rap album in arguably a top 3 rap year all time. So it's not a regular rap album, okay?
Yeah.
It's the best
it's
rap
album. It's not a
album.
2009 best rap album.
Right, the 2009 best rap album thing, like, that's cool. Raising Emcee that year, that's cool.
Yeah.
But that 95 shit.
Yeah.
That 95 shit, Mike.
Yeah.
Isn't 95 a top 3 rap year? Isn't that the best album of a top 3 rap year?
I think when it comes to density, yes, 95 is a top 3 rap year. I think
so
88,
with that being said,
I think 88, 96, and 95 when we talk about density.
Yes.
Yeah.
90. Hold on. What did you say?
I said 88, 95, 96. No particular order.
Correct.
Those are the
three.
That
is correct.
Yeah.
That is affirmative. So, with that being said, how many other dudes have walked around and made the album of the year twice in the history of rap?
Only the greats off the top of my head.
Because here's what we know for fact, and we know this already. The Lox have never made the album of the year, and Kiss as a solo artist has never made the album of the year. Ray has made the album of the year twice. And Mike, let's go to 1993. If not for Doggy Style. Hold on. Isn't Doggy Style 94?
No, that's 93. It rolled into 94.
So, I mean, literally, only by a hair is Enter the Wu-Tang not the best rap album of 1993. And I'm only saying that because Ray is just as essential to Enter the Wu-Tang as any artist is on that album. And we're going to unpack that in a minute. But what I would submit to you is that... He has the first verse
on Cream. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're going to talk about it. I'm just pulling up Ray's stuff, and it's like, I told you. So Ghost is a top 10 MC all time, right? Mm-hmm. And he's pretty high up there, right? Like, he's not like 9 or 10. He's like 5, 6, 7 in most people's minds, right? Mm-hmm. Ray's not that far behind, Mike, and I think Ray might be a top 10 MC all time. He might be the guy that deserves our number 10 slot. Because you want to talk about actually being part of the culture and the contributions? Let's run it down right quick. You want to start with Enter the Wu-Tang? Can we start there?
Go ahead.
I want you to listen to the songs that he's on. He's on Protect Your Neck. Mm-hmm. He's on Cream. He starts off Cream. Shame on a Nigga with Method Man and Old Dirty Bastard. Who's the only person that can share the stage with Method Man and Old Dirty Bastard at the same time at that time?
That's heavy.
That's Ray. Yeah. Can it be all so simple? Ray again, Chess Boxing. He's on all of the singles except for Method Man, and Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. He's the only guy that can say that. He actually has more airtime, technically, bar-wise, than anybody on Enter the Wu-Tang. And the Jizza and Method Man have solo songs, and he's still got more bar work than everybody. Method Man has the most work between the hooks and the solo song and the verses, but just verse to verse to verse, Ray's the guy.
You know what? And it's funny you say that because I never really looked at 36 Chambers in that way, but I always view Wu-Tang Forever in that way. I'm like, Ray is everywhere on this album.
No. Yeah. That's who he is in the group. He's the guy.
Yeah, you're right.
He's the guy that you can put everywhere.
He starts off these records and everything.
He starts off this record. So let's go to that Jadakiss moment in the garden with the Who Shot You. Mm-hmm. You telling me Ray dropping the Cream ain't gonna have the same effect? You telling me if the Cream beat drop and Ray come out and they do the old school version with Old Dirty Bastard singing the vocals, like on the instrument, telling me it's not the same effect? Tell me when he drops Incarcerated Scarfaces, it's not that same feeling. So he can do a lot of the things that Kiss just did in the garden. Yes, he can. Because here's what he has. Oh, he's got a comparable voice to Kiss too, if not a better one overall. How about that?
I don't know if he's the performer that Kiss is, but that's about it. But when we
Probably
talk
not.
about
That's it.
yeah,
He's
but
not
when
the
we talk
performer.
about the material, I have to put Ray over Kiss. I have to. I have to. And
No,
Gerald Green
hold
with the
on.
super chat says, "Dope that y'all giving Beans his flowers. I always felt like the reason was the precursor for the Blueprint sonically. Yeah, a lot of those beats from the Blueprint were supposed to be Beans, according to Kanye West.
So this is what I mean about unpacking it even further.
Mm-hmm.
So you brought up Kiss with his features over a course of time have exceeded Siegel. Well, they haven't exceeded Ray. Can I interest you in John Blaze, where Kiss and Ray are literally right there next to each other in the third and fourth verses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that John Blaze shit that Kiss holds on to, well, Ray can hold the same claim. He's right there, right next to him. Rap Life with Taj.
Tash, yeah.
Yes,
Catastrophe, my God.
Hold on, listen to this. Mike, how many guys got two classic joints with Outkast? Because he's got Skew It on the Barbie and Royal Flush.
He's on a Kumina. And kind of like
He's
how
on a Aquemini. I told you, Aquemini and the Purple Tape as far as all time. So
I was gonna say, just like how Nas is to the Purple Tape, he's the only outsider
get out
on
of my
Aquemini.
head. He's the only outsider on the South's Best Rap album.
Yeah.
Only guy. Aquemini is the South's Best Rap album. Only one New York nigga is on the album. Who is he?
Yeah, it's
His
right.
name is Chef Raekwon. This is what I'm talking about. Hold on. Can I interest you in the fact that even though he is not all over Supreme Clientele, what is the first single off of Supreme Clientele?
Apollo Kids.
With who?
With Ray?
Yeah. Hold on. Can I interest you in the fact that although he is not on Bulletproof Wallets the way that he is on Iron Man, what's the first single on Bulletproof Wallets?
Yeah.
It's never been the same.
He's on the cover of Bulletproof Wallets too.
It's Ray.
No,
hold on.
To me, the Hilton is one of the most impressive moments on that album. He's on there too. The original version of Ghost Showers. I mean, no, not Ghost Showers. Flowers.
We're about to have a whole Ghost and Ray conversation right quick. That's about to unpack a lot of things too. I just want to run down the work. Well, hold on. RZA and Deck are on a track with Meth on Tikal, but only one guy gets to stand next to Meth on Tikal, and that's who?
Yeah.
Meth versus Chef.
That's Chef, yeah.
Ain't no Wu-Tang. He not on the Wu-Tang song on there. That's Deck and RZA that's on the Wu-Tang song. It's Meth versus Chef, as in Method Man is being looked at in the light that Nas and Biggie are at the time, but within the clan.
You know who Method Man is to Wu-Tang? Method Man is Snoop Dogg to Death Row at that point.
Correct.
Yeah.
But Chef is right there. That's why the record is called Meth vs. Chef. Once again, we have another Method Man and Old Dirty Bastard sighting on Return to the 36 Chambers. And who's the only guy that can fill in once again?
Yeah, it's Ray.
It's Ray on Raw High.
I don't know what Wu-Tang...
fuck with Dirt and Method Man. That's too much. Listen to this. How about this? There's never been a group in rap history that's had 2 stars. Fuck the bar work. 2 stars the caliber of Method Man and Old Dirty Bastard. But who's the guy that's right behind them? If Method Man and ODB do not exist, he is the front man for Wu-Tang Clan. And in a lot of ways, he is the glue guy because they're star players. They go do highlight reel shit.
I will gripe with you on this. You're right. From 93 to 96, definitely Ray. I think Wu-Tang Forever, Ghost start becoming that star that he, ended up being. But yeah, you're right. Wu-Tang at their height, when all the great Wu-Tang shit's coming out, Ray's number 3 on star power. We ain't even talking about lyricism.
He's number 3 on star power.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm saying. He's the guy putting in the most bar work. He's the one that's on all the singles. He's with Ghost on Can It Be All So Simple. Right. He's with Deck on Cream. He's with Meth and Dirt on Chess Boxing. He's with Meth and Dirt again on Shame on a Nigga. He's the only one standing next to everybody like, yeah, you can put me anywhere. We're not done yet. Mike, the Infamous, which came out the same year.
Yeah.
He's right next. Who's rhyming after Nas on Eye for an Eye?
It's him.
Who's going back and forth with Ghost on Right Back at You? He's on Mobb Deep album flexing with Nas on Run Track and Ghost on another. The Infamous is probably the second best rap album in 1995. Tell me Eye for an Eye and Right Back at You don't got something to do with that.
I would say it's top Definitely top 5 easy, maybe
It's
top
top
3.
3 easy. No, The Infamous is a top 3 rap album in 1995.
LP with the super chat says the tribute to ODB was great. One of his best songs.
Hold on.
36 Chambers says thoughts on doing a 94, 95, 96, and 98 versus show on the Patreon for the best year all time in hip hop. I like that
88.
idea. I think we should do that.
We got to start with 88 though.
Okay, Andrew Green with the super chat says, remember that all 4 dope MCs engaged in battle dropped dope albums the same year in 2001. The Reason, Kiss the Game Goodbye, The Blueprint, and Stillmatic. Yeah. Competition brings out the best. That's why we wish that, Freddie and Benny would just keep this on wax. Yeah. Rakasha says, Ice Cube said to Nas on his podcast, The Bridge, back then we were doing our penmanship. Then you came and put in the cursive. Highest compliment for one of hip hop's ghosts. Right. Nas came through and changed shit forever.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Illmatic changed how these niggas write bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, niggas don't write bars the same no more.
Jay Short with the super chat says, I love Jada and Ray, but I always give the nod to MCs who can carry classic songs, albums, mostly solo. Ray has to do it without Ghost for me to say he's top 10. And I think that's fair, and I think that...
Nope, it's not. It's not.
It's
and
not
we're about
fair?
to get to that. Nope, it's not, and we're about to get to that. Let me finish these tracks, and we're going to get to the Ghost and Ray thing, because that's totally
inaccurate. I think I'm done with the super chat, so yeah, you can go ahead. And then I'll give my retort about that, because I think Supreme Clientele is the divider between those two.
No, and I understand that, and I respect that, but I have some things to submit to that conversation to show you that the separation... See, here's what I'm saying, is that people try to put Ghost in an all-time greatest MCs conversation that Ray is not in, and what I'm trying to tell y'all is that Ray is in the same conversation. Now, we've already run down some of the facts, because here's the reality of the matter. While all this stuff is going on, Ghost isn't on any of these records except Right Back At You. Okay, and can it all be so simple?
In 95, I'm gonna say this as a Ghost fanatic. In 95, 96, Ray is a better MC than Ghost.
Well, Mike, hold on. Hold on. But here's the thing about it that you're missing, and here's why Ray is so important, and here's why still Ray needs to be considered. We just literally said we need to have a Patreon show about the best rap years ever. What years came up? Did 95 and 96 came up?
You're right.
You know what part of the reason why 95 and 96 is so great? Chef Raekwon's part of that. Big part of that. That's why I'm bringing out the fact that he is literally on Meth vs. Chef in 94 at the end on Takao. He's literally all over Wu-Tang Clan on Into the Wu-Tang in 93. He dropped the best rap album for 95. But Mike, the best posse cut of 95 outside of Verbal Intercourse is probably I for an I. You know the two people who are on those records? Nas and Raekwon. While Nas is having the best lyrical run ever, the two best posse cuts coming out that year, shout out the Thought Process. I don't think it's I for an I Verbal Intercourse. But in 95, yeah, it's not better than Verbal Intercourse or I for an I. It's not, Mike. It doesn't live on like it does. It's just a Southern bias thing. You got to accept it.
It might be a Southern bias. That's why I'm making faces.
No, it's 1995. It's definitely a Southern bias thing, but I for an I and Verbal Intercourse is, remember, totally different than Thought Process, and you know it. It's just part of the bias that came with the times. You got to accept it. So he's right there on that. Then, Mike, this is what I mean. Look,
I feel like I need to make a poll.
Mike, investigative reports off Liquid Swords. It's Ray again. Can I interest you on Hell on Earth the following year in 96? Mike, I think Nighttime Vultures is the best song on Hell on Earth.
Let me ask you something.
Who's on there spitting right next to Prodigy? That might be Prodigy's best verse. Who's spitting right next to Prodigy at his peak? You get what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this, and you got to be truthful about this. I know you got a lot. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of notes, and I think this is a great segment because Ray deserves his flowers. In 1995, would you have said that Raekwon is better than Method Man?
Yes.
Would you? After shadowboxing?
Yes. Because the only evidence that we have in 95 of Meth being better than Ray is shadowboxing. Ray got incarcerated Scarfaces. He's got the I for an I verse. He's got the right back at you
Let me
verse.
stop you at Incarcerated Scarfaces.
We know Meth is better than Ray, technically. We know Meth has a better voice and delivery and is technically even a better lyricist, but he's not delivering like Ray is in 95. Ray is delivering on Nas level in 95.
I could throw you Bring the Pain. You throw me Incarcerated Scarfaces. Which is the better song? Bring the Pain.
I've always told you the best three solo songs that have ever come out of that camp are Bring the Pain, Brooklyn Zoo, and Incarcerated Scarfaces. It's all about how you feel. Pick a record.
I'm going, and I'm a huge
Incarcerated Scarfaces is 3 versus 2.
I think Bring the Pain, I'm going there. And what about the fact that he had You're All I Need? Does that not give Meth some more juice?
You want to know what? I'm going to give him some juice because he's part of why the Purple Tape is so important, because that hook on Ice Cream and that hook in that verse on Wu Gambino's, the shadow boxing thing. I told you, Mike, that little back and forth with the jizz on Living in the World Today.
He was on the What, too, since we're going to bring in Mobb Deep stuff. He was on the What. He's the only feature on
Ready to Die.
That's what I'm saying. So we're going to talk about 94, 94. Because Tikal came out in 94, so I'm only matching him up with his solo stuff.
If Meth is on Big and Nas level 94, 95, 96, so is Ray. How about that?
I don't know, man. I'm going to be honest with you, Coop, and maybe because Method Man was like my first favorite rapper. In 95, I'm not saying that Raekwon's better than Method Man.
Okay, so if you don't feel that way, that's fine, because he's still not the star that Meth is. Meth is a Snoop Dogg type of level star. But what I'm trying to tell you is that, well, it's close enough and conversational enough that it's real. And so Meth in 95 is being looked at in the light that Biggie and Nas are being looked at. And what I'm telling you is that around that time, well, no, Ray deserves to be looked at the same way, because what I'm telling you, he's the central piece to Enter the Wu-Tang being a classic, the Purple Tape being a classic. And now, hold on, I'm not done yet. Let's get into a couple more records. The Freakin' You remix with Jodeci.
Ghost is on there too, right?
Hold on. How many MCs have gone back and forth with Slick Rick? Because I can only think of one.
Back and forth.
Know who it is? Back and forth. Who's done a back and forth with Slick Rick? Raekwon on Frozen. He's the only guy to ever get a back and forth with Slick Rick. They're literally trading bars, Ray and Ghost style.
Yeah.
So when Slick Rick's coming back, he's choosing Outkast, Nas, and who?
Right.
All right. That's Slick Rick, ain't it? Ain't Slick Rick your favorite rapper's favorite rapper? Ain't it funny how Raekwon's one of his favorite rappers? Ain't it funny how Raekwon's one of Rakim's favorite rappers too?
You're right. Listen, this is the thing. You really champion people who go to work, as you should. And Raekwon goes to work more than anybody in the Wu-Tang.
Hold on. We're not done yet. Can I interest you in Gorgeous off My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy? How many classic rap albums has this guy blessed?
That's a good question. How many classic albums is Raekwon on?
More than anybody in rap history, Mike. That's what I'm trying to. No, it's not. It's not debatable.
What do you have a number? Do you have a number? I know you were taking a lot of notes. Do you have a number? How many classic albums?
Hold on. No, it's all about what you think is a classic. There's Enter the Wu-Tang.
Okay.
You don't think Tikal is a classic. Neither do I.
I don't know.
Do you think Return to the 36 Chambers is a classic?
I do.
I do
but
too.
If somebody said it wasn't, I wouldn't be mad.
So we're 2 in. Well, we have the Purple Tape and the Purple Tape 2, so we're 4 in. Well, he's on the Infamous. That's 5. Okay?
Iron Man.
Bulletproof Wallets, and Fish Scale. If you think those classics, Mike, we're at 8. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy makes it 9. Schoolboy Q's Oxymoron with Blind Threats would make it 10. If you think that's a classic.
You didn't say Supreme Clientele. You didn't say Liquid Swords. Aquemini, yeah. He's on a lot of classic albums, man.
You want to know why? Because when you're putting a classic album, you can go to him and he'll deliver.
Strike.
So let's go. Hold on. So let's go to the whole Ghostface thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that Ghostface is on 11 tracks on Cuban Links, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how many tracks Raekwon's on Iron Man?
Like 15?
12 with a solo record. So what Ghost gave Ray gave Ghost right back immediately, except Ghost isn't the MC that Ray is. That's why the Purple Tape is a classic and Iron Man is a classic, but not the same type of classic. They helped each other the same.
I think the production on Only Built for Cuban Links is much better.
You can say that if you want to. Ray lyrically is sharper on Iron Man than he is on Cuban Links.
He's a better rapper than Ghost on Iron Man. I'm not even gonna front. And this is from a Ghostface fan. Hold on, Esquire with the super chat. And shout out to Esquire who won our Thursday night trivia. We're actually doing another Thursday night trivia. It's gonna be on YouTube Live. You can play along. It's gonna be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, try to defend your crown, Esquire. We got to start giving out prizes for this. But yeah, Esquire says
I'm off this Thursday. Esquire's going down if we pull up in these streets. Okay?
Yeah, man, you should get the alert.
Game streets. Esquire, you don't want none of this. It's just like this show.
So we got it where we got it with the Facebook audience, the YouTube audience, and another audience. It's all going to be playing.
Everybody that want to take these L's from Coop can take these L's, Mike. You can take these L's from the trivia however you want. You can take your L on Facebook. You can take your L on YouTube.
No, everybody's playing at one time, and it's like there's a cumulative score of everybody who's playing. The YouTube audience, I got to be frank, the YouTube audience dominated the Facebook audience.
A lot of people losing when I pull up. That's all I got to say.
Well,
Esquire, you're not winning nothing when I pull up. You hear me?
Esquire with the super chat says, love Ray, but we can't act like Immobiliarity and Lex Diamond's story didn't happen. Outside of his classic work between 93, 98, and Only Built for Cuban Links 2, what else has he done?
Well, this is what I was about to say. Mm-hmm. So let's get to that. Well, what I would tell you is that, well, if Ghost is the greatest MC of all time conversation, like he's in the GOAT conversation, right? Isn't he?
I thought so.
But yeah, I think so too. Fan. A lot of people feel like his catalog, his work, and that's viable. None of those guys have had help like this because here's what I'm trying to say. Well, Ray is on 12 tracks on Iron Man, but Mike, he got 5 tracks on Bulletproof Wallets. Okay? He's got 5 tracks on Fish Scale. Mike, outside of Supreme Clientele, Ghost has had help from Ray the entirety of his time. All his great stuff outside of Supreme Clientele has Ray all over it. So part of the stature that he's held in the light of these albums, go listen to these albums. When you go listen to Fish Scale, the best stuff that is on Fish Scale outside of Shaky Dog is the stuff where Ray is on. If you go listen to Bulletproof Wallets, Mike, the best stuff is the stuff that Ray is on outside of a couple of tracks. It's the same thing down the line. So when you're having Ghost in this top 5-10 conversation and it's based on his catalog, listen to this. 12 tracks on Iron Man, 5 tracks on Bulletproof, 5 tracks on Fish Scale, 2 tracks on Supreme Clientele. That's 24 songs that he's been on Ghostface's classics. That's a lot. Meanwhile, on the other side, on Raekwon's 2 classics, Ghost has 11 tracks on the Purple Tape and 7 on the Purple Tape 2. It's 18. He's given Ghost just as much as Ghost has given him. Now, here's where Ghost is better. Ghost consistently, like Ghost's low moment and Ray's low moment is different. Ray's low moment is a 3. Ghost's low moment is like a 3.5 or a 4. So Ghost has made 4 classics to Ray's 2 classics.
I think Ray's feature game is better than Ghost's too.
Exactly, but if you pair the feature game together and then you pair the fact that it's like, well, the best rapper on Iron Man, which is a Ghostface classic, is actually Ray, it's a little bit more even than people are saying. If it's 4 classics to 2 and one guy has the classic feature game on all the classic albums and is literally rapping, think about this. How many guys got a back and forth with Slick Rick and 3 records with Nas?
So you're saying that Ghost and Ray are more Shaq and Kobe than people say.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you got Ghost at 7, then Ray can't be no lower than 12.
Andrew Green with the super chat.
So wherever you have Ghost, you need to just look back shortly and look at Ray. So if Ghost on my list usually falls about 6 or 7. What I'm telling you, if Ghost is 6 or 7, that means that Ray's about 10.
Andrew Green with the super chat says, Coop is right. Top 5 NYC rappers in 95 went like this among my circle. 1 and 2 was Nas or Biggie, depending on your preference. 3, Prodigy. 4, Raekwon. And 5, Method Man.
Who's rapping with all of those guys, though? Except for Big. Think about it. He's got the joints with Nas, Prodigy, and Meth. None of those other guys can say
You're right. And if it wasn't for the issues, he would have been rapping with Big, too.
Yeah.
Ohio K.
He would have been a problem for Big too because of how he attacks the mic. Because he has the type, he poses the same Method Man problem. It's like, no, my voice is almost as good as yours. Let's go.
Ohio K with the super chat says Ray also got Shaolin versus Wu-Tang. That is a dope project, and The Wild, which are dope, bro. I really like The Wild. He said the Wild to Dope
So I was
project.
bringing up the classic stuff. That's why I bought up Bulletproof Fish Scale and Iron Man and Supreme, because those are Ghost 4 classics. And I bought up the Purple Tape and the Purple Tape 2 to let you know there is some separation in the classic making ability. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the only real separation, Mike, between Ghost and Ray is what? 2 words, Mike.
Supreme
you know
clientele.
it. Supreme clientele. That's the only difference. So the only difference between Ray and Ghost is Supreme. And think about this. Think about the who Ray is on Enter the Wu-Tang and all these guest appearances on the classic albums.
Well, see, you know what? Supreme Clientele is the moment for me where Ghost became one of my favorite rappers. Like, I've always been a Wu-Tang
that's where he
fan,
became everybody's favorite rapper.
And I was always a big Method Man guy, and I love Blackout with Method Man and Redman. I've been waiting on that album since they did How Hot. But when Supreme Clientele dropped, I was like, oh, man. It was one of those things where it's like, damn it, I hate to admit it. My guy has been superseded. And Method Man was my guy. And I think that, like you said, we kind of take Raekwon's placement in Wu-Tang and as an individual artist for granted because you have so much star power that circulates this group with Method Man, Old Dirty, and then now Ghostface emerging. It's like,
right.
Yeah, so it's like
but who's been the guy that's been there the whole time?
Raekwon is definitely, and I don't want to say the Jadakiss in the group, but when I say Jadakiss, I mean the consistency. You can listen to Raekwon in 94, 95, all the way up until now. He's the same guy. You can never say, yo, man, Ray fell off. Ray, he might have some projects that aren't what the other projects are, but him, bar for bar, he stays Ray. And it's like, when you hear him on... what's the record I was thinking of? I lost my train of thought. But you hear him on everything from the Ghost albums, even his appearance on Apollo Kids, right?
He's on the Pete. He's on Wu Banger 101. He's on Supreme twice. He's on the Pete Rock album On the Game.
Oh no,
Ghost and Prodigy.
You're right. I was thinking about Triumph when I lost my train of thought. We talk about all these other verses on Triumph because everybody is so flamboyant on the record. Raekwon's verse is, again, it's indicative of who he is. He brought that whole thing back together like before Ghost came in and closed the song out.
No, Ray closed it out. Guaranteed made him jump like Rod Strickland.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, because Ghost came in there like,
look at all these crab niggas laid back. Ghost is the one that bought the energy back. But here's what I was about to tell you. Mike,
he came through with yo, fuck that.
No, I'm glad that you brought it up. Here's some of my last notes about it. Well, Mike, on Wu-Tang Forever, the first 2 singles are Triumph and It's Yours. How does Triumph end?
Yeah, him.
How does It's Yours start?
Machine gun rap for all my niggas in the back, stadium pack, linebacker nigga, flash gas, see through yellow lines.
So he can be your opener or your closer.
Summertime, God.
Hold on, so let me get this straight.
Magic Marker rap, bleed Benadine. What?
So let me get this straight. On your debut album, which is a groundbreaking landmark cinematic album, he's the glue guy and the guy on the most singles, including Over Meth and Old Dirty Bastard. He made the best solo album out the camp. The other guy who's considered greater than him, he contributed more lyrical bar work to his first classic than even he did. He rhymes next to Nas on Mobb Deep's albums. He rhymes next to Prodigy. With Prodigy is at his peak. And what? He starts off Cream. He ends Triumph. He starts off It's Yours. Hello.
His resume is crazy.
There's a reason for all these things.
His resume is crazy. And he's on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
And he's on Gorgeous. Get out of my head. He's on Gorgeous.
Jay Short with the super chat says Shaq had Jay, Rakim, Prodigy, and Big featured in 95. Shout out to Shaq. An underrated MC. Is Shaq the best athlete rapper of all time? Are you still going Dame? All right, LP with the super chat says Ray has 1 classic solo. The rest is placements.
It's a lie. I just gave you the work. I just told you. Ghost is on 18 tracks on his 2 classics. That's why I'm saying. Okay, so look at it like this.
Esquire says, so the Purple Tape 2 is a classic, but not Black Star?
Hell fuck yeah. Ain't no 10 bricks or no broken safety on... What?
I want you to make that argument for the people. I mean, because people seem to...
We can make the argument. House of Flying Daggers, 10 bricks, Broken Safety, Catalina, Me Too with Busta Rhymes. Good night. Master of Our Fate with Black Thought.
You know what record I
we play
love
10
on that
bricks on
album?
Patreon every day till niggas get this race shit.
I think we should play Only Built for Cuban Links 2 on the Patreon too. But yeah, I love that We Will Rob You.
New Woo, Black Mozart?
New Woo. Woo! New Woo is
That's
heat.
what I'm saying. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Billy Barnes of the Super Chat says, the only thing undefeated is time. Second to the internet. 3 is the rhyme. Nas still dropping bars of the year. But whack bars still get overhyped. Whose whack bars are y'all talking about? One take?
Who did it? So Mike, so listen to where I'm going with this Ray and Ghost thing, because here's what I was trying to submit to you. Supreme Clientele is the difference maker, but not a biggest difference maker as you make, because Ray is a difference maker on Enter the Wu-Tang, which is a better album than Supreme Clientele is, than Ghost is. Okay? Yeah, Enter the Wu-Tang is better than Supreme Clientele, Mike.
That's hard
Do
for
I
me
need to
to
run down
argue.
the songs for you?
Yeah, we can do that on another show. But yeah, I
you don't
feel
want, Mike, I'm going to say it again. Cream, Shame on a Nigga, Protect Your Neck, Can It Be Also Simple, Chess Boxing, Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With. That already beat Supreme Clientele, Mike. It's over for Supreme Clientele. But that's without Clan in the front of Method Man. That's without the Jizza and the Method Man solos. So he's the real anchor of Enter the Wu-Tang, and it took me a long time to look
He's
at
the
it. Like
anchor
Method
of the
Man and
crew,
Old Dirty
period.
Bastard are your front men. They're front men on Enter the Wu-Tang. Ray's the guy.
Ray is the anchor on all of the Wu-Tang efforts. He's the third batter.
He is.
Yeah.
He's the third batter. It's like, we got to let our stars go first and second, but we need you to make it happen.
But he's the meat of it all, right? Like how we kind of say
He's the meat
about
of the greatest lyrical group that ever existed. What does that say about his placement? He made the best solo album. Ghost's first classic album, he sounds better on.
I'm going to be honest. Only Built for Cuban Links is the best album to come out of Wu-Tang, period. And that's including the group album. So, and that's his album, you know. The other part of it is that quintessential East Coast Emcee sound of the 90s.
Yes, that's him.
Yes.
Him and Prodigy.
Yeah, him and Prodigy. I was just about to say that. Him and Prodigy, they just immortalized that East Coast MC of the 90s. Like when you think about
that's where
that,
it got immortalized. That's why Nighttime Vultures is the best song on Hell on Earth. It's like, no, that's Ray in his mafioso storytelling mode, and that's P in his grimy storytelling mode. Yeah. It's epic, and it's Havoc. It's Havoc. Havoc's learned how to make drums like Q-Tip, but he's learned to make them dark and creepy, like for a Mobb Deep sound. It's beautiful. It's a rap moment. Nighttime Vultures is that shit, man. It is, and Ray's part of that. Yeah. He said the first prize guy lit up a tar, said, right, emotionally approaching this cat like I was supposed to be. Something spoke to me. It was this little nigga poking me.
Ohio K with the super chat says, did y'all like Ray's verse on Bulletproof Diaries on LAX?
I got Bulletproof Diaries right here and Blind Threats right next to each other in case you wanted some West Coast Ray. Blind Threats on Oxymoron, Bulletproof Diaries off LAX. I'm a New York dinosaur, Staten Island artifact. Hip-hop's never dead. The Cuban gave him heart attacks.
Woo! NDU Jams with the super chat says, Coop is right about Ray. Even when his relationship with RZA was salty, the group was affected because Ray was a key component of the group.
That's when they made their bad materials, when he wasn't invested. Correct.
This is true. These are all
facts. The last time he was invested was on the W, and that's the last time they sound good. Can I interest you in Let My Niggas Live?
Evidence.
Yeah,
they need Ray.
He's everywhere. So let's go to this. Ghost has 3 classics outside of Supreme Clientele. Well, Ray's on 12 tracks on Iron Man, 5 tracks on Bulletproof, and 5 tracks on Fish Scale. Tell me if those albums are classic without Ray.
I mean, Supreme is
what it is, but that's it. That's what he has. And Supreme Clientele is still not better than the Purple Tape or Enter the Wu-Tang.
Somebody said Deck over Ray. How?
It's absurd.
In a vacuum, I guess, but
so what I'm trying to tell you is that
you can't make an argument for that one.
So listen, the only thing that you really can say about Ghost's 4 best albums is that Raekwon is all over them multiple times, including Supreme, because he's on Supreme twice. That's not accidental, Mike. Just like it's not accidental that Ghost is all over Ray's 2 classics, 11 and 7.
Ray's resume is tough to beat. I think a lot of people, when considering all-time greatness, we look at the eye test, and it's like, just straight up, people feel like, okay, Ghost is just the better MC, better storyteller. Even though
He's
Ray's
a better
great
storyteller.
Yeah.
Can I submit something to you? The only thing that he's really better than Ray at is making the album and telling the story. Ray has the better voice and delivery and the better actual top to bottom catalog in terms of the diversity of it. The solo catalog is Ghost. You feel me?
I
but
think
all things considered,
that he
it's
has
Ray.
a better voice. I don't think he has a better flow. But
He
I
does.
feel where you're coming from. I just
You got
disagree.
stacks like the International House of Pancakes. The man makes motion and no, he's no. I don't.
But see, I put that over. I roll like a bat out of hell. Evil acapels, fly spitting out of my grill. Like the way he came.
I go to that same song.
Springtime
$200,000 lesbians. Yeah, no, Ray's flow is sick.
They both got sick flows.
They both got sick flows, right? They both got sick flows.
Crash
Hold on,
through,
how about
break the
this?
glass.
You wanna know
Tony
what?
with the Goldie mask. That's the pass. Heavy ice rolly laying on the grass.
No. You want to know what? That is actually making my point for me. Iron sharpens iron, and that's why Ghost is so high and Ray should be so high. They've made each other so much better.
No, I'm gonna give you this. Ray made Ghost better. Now that I will give you in the same way.
When you got a classic rap album and your partner sounds like the better rapper on it, you're gonna get better.
Yeah.
Because that's two straight. Because think about it, that's two straight classic albums of him sounding better than you.
And that duo, and I know people are gonna take this the wrong way, but the way that Michael Jordan made Scottie Pippen a better defender by the fact that Pippen was out there having to guard him in practice, that's how Ray made Ghost better.
No. This is what it is.
Ray is the Michael Jordan in that relationship.
No, I got an older school reference for you even than that, and we talked about him earlier. No, this is Elgin Baylor and Jerry West. See, Elgin Baylor was better early because he came along a little bit earlier and hit his stride a little bit earlier. Jerry West ended up being the greater all-time player, but if you really were to look at it on a scale, it's like, well, Jerry West is like the 14th or 15th best player of all time, and Elgin Baylor's like 19 or 20. You feel what I'm saying? But they played right next to each other, averaging comparable numbers. Jerry West ended up being slightly better, but early on, Elgin Baylor was a guy averaging 27 points and 15 rebounds. Jerry just sustained his level of greatness the way that he did it longer because he was a better shooter. Same way Ghost is a better storyteller, and telling stories takes you further in hip hop.
Badley says
of our top 10 are great storytellers.
You're right. Hold on, let me get these super chats. Badley says Ray has some really bad albums. He needed more Ghosts. I think the thing is too, when we look at Ray as a solo artist, I think certain people are just solo artists, right? And I don't know if Ray is the strongest solo artist, but he's such a great glue guy, and like you said, such a great foundation and the meat of things. He, that can't be disregarded. I think that's the thing with Jada too. Like, Jada doesn't have the classic albums of the people that he's in a skill, bracket with. But see, this is all the more reason, and I hate to beat a dead horse. This is why we just can't elevate people like Andre 3000 who haven't even attempted it. At least with Ray and Jada, we know like, okay, well, they might not be the strongest by themselves, but we know what they add to these songs. It takes a special individual for you to want to hear them the whole album.
Well, no, see, here's what I would submit to you though, is that outside of Supreme Clientele, no, Ghost hasn't proven that he's that much better than Ray by himself at album making. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He only has one real piece of evidence. No, all his other classics, Mike's, are shrouded with help the same way Ray's is. And there's nothing wrong with that because Ray is most of the help. That's what I'm trying to say, is that most of Ghost's help for these classic albums outside of Supreme is Ray. That's why it's so classic, because it's them. Because when they get together, it's classic results. Look at when they're together on Enter the Wu-Tang. Can it be all so simple as magic? Look at them on the Purple Tape. It's magic. Look at them on Iron Man. It's magic. Look at them on Bulletproof. It's magic. Look at them on Fish Scale and the Purple Tape too. It's magic. They're magic together. And here's what I want to submit to you before we have to get out of here in a minute. Ray and Ghost did as much work just on Supreme Clientele and the Purple Tape alone that it equals the Nas and AZ output. Think about that.
That's incredible. Jay Short with the super chat says, whenever Prodigy made Apostle Warning, he was number one. T Nitty with the super chat says, Big Doe Rehab is a classic and only built for Cuban links equals Supreme Clientele. Um, 36 Chambers says,
Big No Rehab had a lot of help,
30,
including Ray.
yeah, 36 Chambers says, what's y'all thoughts on Deck? He's been keeping busy with great Czarface material at the crazy pace over the years. In my opinion, he's one of the best from the Wu-Tang. Yes, he has to get credit for that. I just wish these things were happening, in the
If we're talking
90s.
about the actual work over a longevity of time, I don't think he's better than the GZA, but I would probably slide him in that fifth slot. So it would go Meth. I mean, overall, it would go Ghost, Ray, Meth, Dirt, and then Deck. If we're talking about, the contribution.
Okay. Andrew Green says, just like Andre 3000 is hard to rank in all-time solo MCs list because of lack of work, it's just hard to rank key Wu members for different reasons.
No, I'm showing it to you right here where Ray and Ghost have helped each other. You can rank it. They've helped each other get to where they are. Ghost is a little higher. That's what I mean. It's like if one guy is 6, one guy is 10. Not 6 and 32. No, not 6 and 15. Not 6 and 19. If Ghost is like 6 or 7, then Ray is 10, 11, or 12 and no lower. This is the proof. And I have some more proof to show you from another duo who doesn't have their classic album status that we're about to get to show you that it's real.
Well, oh, okay. Lex Diesel with the super chat says KD2 is a year old now. Time to revisit that album and decide if it's classic or not. I think that's fair. LP says Ray is Robert Horry with 1 legit chip out of 7. Wow, that's really disrespectful.
I'm glad you paid for that because I won't be acknowledging you ever in life again.
Ohio K with the super chat says, y'all sleeping on the last Kiss album from Jada in 09, especially the verse on Cartel Gathering with
Gathering with Ray and Ghost?
Ray and Ghost, yeah.
I got Cartel Gathering down here on Ray and Ghost list. I got that. And the last Kiss is good. It's not in the stratosphere of the albums that we're talking about.
I like the last Kiss.
I like the last Kiss too. I like Kiss the Game Goodbye.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah. Jay Short says I prefer Ray because I grew up in that era, but I would put Pusha ahead of Ray because Pusha has solo albums without help. My Name Is My Name and Cuban 2 are equal.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Ray Rims with the super chat. Shout out to Ray Rims. He says, we're well aware that they're trying to clone this show, but it's impossible. They should just reach out to partner. This is high mind analysis. What? Well, shout out to you, Ray Rims. I don't know what that's about. We're conducting a show, but yeah, shout out to you. CJ Kidd says, better group, Hieroglyphics of the Boot Camp Click. Esquire with the super chat says, I don't think that the separation between Ray and Ghost is significant either, but I also don't think Ghost as a top 10 MC like y'all. More like top 20.
Okay.
Due to catalog. Okay, I think that's fair.
No, but I mean, I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
Or she. I get what they're saying. So listen to my final point, and this should let you know how great Ghost and Ray are.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I thought about? When I realized how much Ray and Ghost had used each other on their classic albums, I immediately thought about Styles and Kiss and how much they don't use each other on their albums, which is why neither one of them have any verifiable, certifiable classics. Between Raekwon and Ghostface, the only classic album that has been made that we can look to where there's not heavy contribution from one of the other members is Supreme Clientele. And even with that, I want you to understand this. Supreme Clientele, first of all, has 2 tracks from Ray, 2 of the best posse cuts ever in Buck 50 and Wu Banger 101. And Ghost's whole Theodore unit is on about another 3 or 4 records. There's only 13 songs on Supreme Clientele. Ghost is only on a solo mission for about 5 of them.
I don't know about that. Well, yeah, okay. Nutmeg starts off with RZA. Then you got 1. Then you got
1.
Yeah, because you got
Saturday Night,
Uptown Saturday Night. Then you got my song, Ghost Dini, but my man goes at the end of that. He's not right. I mean, it's 2 verses on there, and then Apollo Kids comes in, and then you got the record with RZA.
Right.
Yeah. And then
The Grain.
Go Against the Grain.
Mighty Healthy, he's by himself, so we're at 3.
Yeah, Mighty Healthy, and then you got Dex Beat. He's by himself, but that's like 1 verse. You're right.
Yep.
No, you're right.
Come on, look. And then you got Malcolm and Child's Play.
Child's
Sick.
Play. Yeah, but he sparsed these out so well because even if we talk about Shay Shay Lagos, you got on that as well.
So that's why I'm telling you. So Ghost solo album without Ray's help, it's like, oh well, he's only rapping by himself on 6 songs. And Mike, in 2 of those songs, one song's 1 verse, another song is 2 verses. Mighty Healthy's 2 verses. And then the joint you're talking about. In Uptown Saturday Night's one long story. Mm-hmm. So when you're talking about like the solo mission of it, what I realize is that the reason why Ray and Ghost have made so much classic shit is because they realize that collaboration usually make the best rap material unless you're fucking making Illmatic and AZ spitting on Life's a Bitch. Other than that, all these other great rap albums have collabs.
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Style. You want to go to Doggy Style with some Stereo Killer and Doggy Dog World?
I hear what you're saying. But let's look at the production help on those efforts. The Illmatic's production credits is an all-star of producers.
I'm talking about the bar work, though, because people have done this Styles and Jada thing. But what I really realized today is that the reason why Styles albums aren't held as high as they should, and Kiss albums ain't held as high as they should, well, show me the Kiss album where Styles is on there 12 times like Ray is on Iron Man. Or show me the Styles album where he's on there 11 times the way Ghost is on the Purple Tape. They're not working with each other enough. Like Ray and Ghost have made this work together. They're the best rap duo ever. Even over Outkast. They've got more classic shit than Outkast. Wow. That's what I realized. That's my hot take. Wow, think about it. They got 6 classics. They got 6 solo classics between the 2 of them, and they're responsible for parts of Wu-Tang Forever and Enter the Wu-Tang on top of Ray's fucking verse catalog, on top of Supreme Clientele. It's crazy.
Do you like the Jadakiss song on the DJ Khaled album?
Yes. Might be the best joint on there.
I liked it too. I think I said in the previous show, a classic album for Jadakiss looks like, from a production standpoint and from an execution standpoint, it looks like Paid in Full, right? I think beats and rhymes, you know what I'm saying? And even kind of taking a similar approach to the record that was on the DJ Khaled record. And just Jada spitting and being able to make some almost park jam type bangers, you know, song to song.
You mean Incarcerated Scarfaces?
Something like that, right? I could see Jadakiss making, close your eyes, like, could you see Jadakiss making I Ain't No Joke? Or something, you know what I mean? And made structurally in that way.
His career has essentially been a lot of 16 bar, I Ain't No Joke type of verses. He has yet to put it together for an album.
That's the formula it needs
together
to
and
be.
made 6 classic albums between the solo catalogs, on top of them doing shit like the MGM and Can It Be So Simple on Wu-Tang and Enter the Wu-Tang. That's what I'm saying.
But to kind of piggyback on your point,
we got all about the Benjamins and we gonna make it. That's not gonna cut it.
I think Jada could do something like that, and then you add Styles into that. Like, you're right. Styles needs to be more integral into Jada's process, and
vice versa. Like, Styles' albums are better, but not that much better, and they haven't made a classic solo album between the 2 of them.
You're right. Ghostface utilizes the people at hand, and on Supreme Clientele, he didn't utilize Ray as much as he normally does, but he utilized everybody else and sprinkled it around where it didn't feel like he was getting a lot of help.
The whole Wu-Tang Clan is on Supreme Clientele except Old Dirty Bastard.
Yeah, he was
Master Killer.
Yeah. CJ Kidd says, A Gangsta and a Gentleman is general consistency a classic, but it's Styles only classic.
How about this? Black Star's better than A Gangster and a Gentleman. Black Star's first album is better than A Gangster and a Gentleman. It's a really dope album. I'm not being funny. It's just a really dope album.
I agree with you on that. And Gerald Green with the super chat says, what I mean about the Wu is that with individual rankings, none of them are greater than the sum of their parts. A lot of help from each other. And you're right. Like, and I think that's why Method Man unfairly kind of gets put in that whole, he didn't make a classic, because I think he tried to take on more than everybody else did, with the exception of Old Dirty. But Old Dirty had just was right.
Well, here's what I would tell you is that, well, how about this? Ray has been on a lot of classic rap albums. Well, so is Method Man. He's on Ready to Die, and he's on all these Wu-Tang joints that I'm talking about Ray being on.
No, for real. He's
on Return. How about this? He's more of a prominent role on Liquid Swords. I told you, Liquid Swords is not a classic without that back and forth on Living in the World Today and Shadowboxing. It is not the same level without that contribution. Now, what you know about Emcee, and yo, I know a lot. Well, can you tell me straight something, nigga? I'd rather not. To hear Method Man and Jizza go back and forth, it's like that's your lyricist and your star going back and forth. It's like, oh no, they're really a group.